5, paragraph page 369. Okay, and our last headword was parliament, new word type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. First question. Do people become careless when they're in great danger? Do people become careless when they're in great danger? No.
No,
People don't
people
become
don't become
careless
careless
when they're
when they are
in
in
great
great
danger.
danger.
They become very careful.
I'm very careful.
Greg, do you write carefully? Do you write carefully? Yes or no?
Yes, I
All
not
right.
carefree.
What could happen if you were careless when crossing the road? What could happen if you were careless when crossing the road? If I were
If I
careless
were careless
when crossing
when
the road,
crossing the
I
road,
could have an
I
accident.
could have an accident.
Of all the people you know, who dresses the most carelessly? Of all the people you know, who dresses the most carelessly? Of all the
Of all
people I
the
know,
people I know, I dress
the
the most
most
careless.
carelessly. Very good. Do you own all the clothes you're wearing, or do any of them belong to somebody else? Do you own all the clothes you're wearing, or do any of them belong to somebody else? I
I
own
own
all
all
the
the clothes
clothes
I'm
I'm
wearing.
wearing. Very good. What would you like to own more than anything else? What would you like to own more than anything else? I'd like to
I'd
own
like to own a foreign car
more than
more
anything
than
else.
else,
Very good.
anything else.
Who owns the place where you live? Who owns the place where you live? I own the
I own the
place
place where
where.
I live.
Very good. Do people in your country usually carry on working after they reach the age of 65? Do people in your country usually carry on working after they reach the age of 65? Yes or no?
No,
People in
people
my
in my
country
country
don't
don't
usually
know, usually
carry on
carry on
work on
working
after they
after
reach
they
the
reach
age of 65.
65.
They
They retire.
retire. Very good. Okay, next. Have you ever won a prize for anything? Have you ever won a prize for anything? Yes or no?
No, I've
I
never won a prize for anything.
Very good. Give me a sentence with the word to, meaning also. Give me a sentence with the word to, meaning also, please. He wants a biscuit,
What's a
and I
biscuit?
want
I
one too.
want to.
Very good. Okay. Give me a sentence with the words at least in it. Give me a sentence with the words at least in it, please. I've asked him
I've
at least
asked
six
him at
times,
least 6
and
times.
each time
Each
he has
times
forgotten.
for them,
He didn't
he didn't
do
do
very well in the
well
exam,
in the exam,
but at
but at
least
least
he
he
passed.
passed.
Very good. Which is one of the most widely used English adjectives? Which is one of the most widely used English adjectives? One of the most
Now, the
widely
most
used English
widely used
adjectives
English
is
adjectives is
nice.
nice.
Is English the most widely spoken language in the world? Is English the most widely spoken language in the world? Yes,
Yes,
English is the
English
most
is the most
widely
widely
spoken
spoken
language in the
language in
world.
the world.
Very good. Why are good manners so important in life? Why are good manners so important in life? Good manners
Good
are so
manners so
important in life
important in life
because they make
because
life easier
they make life easier
and more pleasant.
and more pleasant.
Very good. What do we mean when we say that somebody has the manners of a pig? What do we mean if we say that somebody has the manners of a pig? When we say
When
that
we say
somebody
that
has the
somebody
manners
has
of a
the
pig,
manner of a pig,
we mean
we
that
mean
they have very
they
bad
have
manners.
very bad manners.
Right? Do people in very hot countries dress in the same manner as people in very cold countries? Do people in very hot countries dress in the same manner as people in very cold countries? No.
No,
People in
people
very hot
in very hot
countries
country
don't dress in
don't
the same
dress
manner
in the same
as
manners
people
as
in
people
very cold
in the very
countries.
cold country.
They dress
They
in a
dress
different manner.
in a different manner.
Greg, will you still be asleep at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning? Will you still be asleep at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning? No, I
No,
won't still
I want
be
to still
asleep.
be asleep
At 11
at
o'clock
11
tomorrow
o'clock
morning,
tomorrow
I'll be
morning.
awake.
I'll be awake.
Will you still be awake at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning? Will you still be awake at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning? No, I
No,
won't
I
still be
want to still
awake.
be awake
At 3 o'clock
at
tomorrow
3
morning,
o'clock tomorrow morning.
I'll be
I'll
asleep.
still be asleep.
Greg, who takes care of us when we're in hospital? Who takes care of us when we're in hospital? Nurses and
Nurses
doctors
and the
take
doctors
care
take
of
care
us
of us
when
when we
we're
are in hospital.
very good. Okay. Next, why do people eat? Why do people eat? People eat. in
people
order
eat
to
in
live.
order to live.
For what purpose do people work? For what purpose do people work? People work
People
in
work
order
in
to
order
earn
to
money.
earn money,
Very good. What must you do in order to keep in good health? What must we do in order to keep in good health? In order
in
to keep
order
in
to
good
keep in
health,
good
we
health.
must sleep
We
well,
must sleep well,
eat healthy
eat
food,
healthy food,
take plenty
take
of
plenty,
exercise,
plenty of
not
exercise,
smoke, etc.
not smoke, etc.
Very good. What do you think is the purpose of living? What do you think is the purpose of living? I think the
I think
purpose
the
of living
purpose of
is to
living
be
is
happy
to be
and to
happy
make
and
others
make
happy,
others happy,
etc.
etc.
Give me an example of so that. Give me an example of so that, please. He put the food
He
in the
put the food
fridge
in the
so that
fridge.
it would stay
It would
fresh.
stay.
Megan, are there any notices hanging up in the school? Are there any notices hanging up in the school? Yes or no?
Yes, there
There
are
are
some
some
notices
notices hanging
hanging
up
up
in
in
the
the fridge.
school. Where? Where? They are on the
They
walls.
are on the wall.
What do they say? What do they say? They say,
They say
always speak English
always speaking
and wear
English
your uniform.
and wear your uniform.
Uniform, right? What are the three forms of lie? What are the three forms of lie? The three
The
forms
three
of
forms
lie
of
are
lie
lie,
is
lay, laid.
lie, lay, lane.
What's the longest you've ever lain in bed for when you've been ill? What's the longest you've ever lain in bed for when you've been ill? The longest
The
I've
longest
ever lain
I've ever
in bed
been
for
in lay bed for
when I've been ill
when I've been
is
ill
about.
a week.
Very good. Okay. What's the difference between to point at and to point out? What's the difference between to point at and to point out? The difference between
The difference
to
between
point at
two
and
point
to
out
point out
and two point
is
out
that we
is
use
that
to point
we
at
use point out
for the
of
action of
the
pointing
action pointing
the
the
finger at an
finger
object,
to an object,
whereas to point
whereas
out means
2 point
to
out means
indicate
to
something
indicate
among
something
different things.
among different things.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're pointing
You
at
are
the light.
pointing the light at the light.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're pointing
You are
at the
pointing
picture on the
at the
wall.
picture on the wall.
Very good. Okay, point out the mistake in this sentence, please. I've gone to the cinema this week. Point out the mistake in this sentence, please. I've gone to the cinema this week. We can't say I've
We
gone
cannot say I've gone
to
to
the
the cinema
cinema
this
this week.
week.
We must say
Yeah, we must
I've
say
been to the
I've
cinema
been
this
to the
week.
cinema this week.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm pointing out
I'm
the
pointing the
mistake
mistake
in that.
out the mistake in that
One
sentence.
more. I'm pointing out the
I'm
mistake
pointing out the mistake
in that
in
sentence.
that sentence.
Where in your country, do people visit their relatives' graves? In your country, do people visit their relatives' graves? Yes or no?
Yes,
In
in my
my country,
country,
people visit
people
their
visit their
relatives'
relatives'
graves.
graves.
Very good. Okay, is it bad for your neck to sleep without a pillow? Is it bad for your neck to sleep without a pillow? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's
it's bad
bad
for
for
my
my neck
neck
to sleep
to sleep
without a pillow.
without a pillow.
Very good. Can we have a fire without flames? Can we have a fire without flames? Yes, we
Yes,
can have a
we can have
fire
a
without
fire
flames.
without flames.
Very good. Okay. How long is the flight from there to England? How long is the flight from there to England? The flight from
The
here
flight from
to
here
England
to
is about.
England is about 20 hours.
Very good. Okay. What do the words may and might express? What do the words may and might express? The words
So what
may and
may
might
and might
express
express
the
the idea
idea
of
of
the heart.
perhaps. What's the difference between may and might? What's the difference between may and might? The difference
The
between
difference
may and
between
might
may and
is that
might
we cannot
that
use may
we cannot use
in the
may
second
in
conditional.
second context.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. If I went
If
to
I went
London,
to London,
I might
I might
visit
visit Buckingham
Buckingham
Palace.
Palace. Do you think it may rain later? Do you think it may rain later? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it will rain
it
later.
will, it will rain later.
Very good. What do you think I might have in my pocket? What do you think I might have in my pocket? I think you might
I
have.
think you might have some money in your pocket.
Very good. What might happen if you didn't look both ways before crossing the road? What might happen if you didn't look both ways before crossing the road? An
An
accident might
accident
happen
might happen
if I
if
didn't
I
look
didn't look
both
both
ways
ways
before
before
crossing the
crossing
road.
the road.
Very good. What might you see if you went to London? What might you see if you went to London? I might see
I might see
Buckingham Palace,
Buckingham
the
Palace,
Houses
the
of
House
Parliament,
of Parliament,
Trafalgar Square,
Trafalgar Square,
Piccadilly Circus.
Carnegie Circus,
If I went,
etc.
if I
If
went
I went
to
to
London,
London.
do you think there might be another world war? Do you think there might be another world war? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
there will
there will
be
be
another
another world
world war.
war.
Very good. Next. That's the end of our revision. Let's have new word.
Okay.
Okay, repeat. Arrive at,
Arrive at,
point,
point,
arrive in,
arrive in,
area,
area,
airport,
airport,
passport.
passport.
Very good. Okay, listen. We arrive at a point, like a small place, like a building or a station. Whereas we arrive in an area, like a city or a country.
Huh.
Airport is a noun. It is a place where planes take off and land with buildings for passengers to wait in. For example, an international airport or a military airport. If you have a flight to catch, you have to go to the airport. Passport is a noun. It is a travel document issued by the government that allows a person to travel abroad. For example, if I arrive at a foreign airport without my passport, I might not be able to enter the country. Let's practice. What's the difference between arrive at and arrive in? What's the difference between arrive at and arrive in? The difference
The
between
difference
arrive
between
at
arrive at
and
and
arrive in
arrive
is
in
that we
is that
arrive at a
we
point,
arrive at a point
whereas we arrive
where we arrive
in an area.
in an area.
Very good. What time do you arrive at school? What time do you arrive at school? I arrive at school
I arrive
at.
at school at 9 o'clock this morning.
Very good. If you arrive in a foreign airport without your passport, what might happen? If you arrive at a foreign airport without your passport, what might happen? If I arrive at
Arrive
a
a
foreign
foreign
airport
airport
without my passport,
without my
I
passport.
might not be able
Might be able
to enter the
to
country.
enter the country.
Very good. Next, repeat cafe.
Tough pay.
Very good. Okay, listen. A cafe is a noun. It is a small informal restaurant where you can get light meals, snacks, and drinks like Starbucks cafe. For example, there's a few good cafes near here. Let's practice. What is a cafe? What is a cafe? A cafe
A
is a
cafe
small
is
informal
small
restaurant
informal
where you
restaurant
can get light
where you
meals,
can get light meals,
snacks, and drinks.
snacks, and drinks.
Very good. Next, repeat. Oh,
Oh,
very good. Okay, listen. The word owe is a verb. It means to have the responsibility to pay or give back something you have received from someone. For example, I borrowed money from my mother. I owe my mother some money. Let's practice. Do you owe me any money? Do you owe me any money? No, I don't
no,
owe
I
you
don't owe
any
you
money.
any money.
Do I owe you any money? Do I owe you any money? Yes, you owe me
Yes, you
some
owe
money.
me some money.
Very good. Okay, now let's talk about the word verb, any verb, and the word back. Okay, repeat souvenir.
Souvenir.
Very good. Okay, listen. When we add the word back to a verb, it means to return. For example, give back, go back, pay back, run back, talk back. The word souvenir is a noun. A souvenir is something you keep or give to remember a holiday or special event. For example, the things I usually bring back with me when I went on holiday are souvenirs like keychains, clothes, food like sweets, etc. Another example is I bought a few souvenirs from my holiday in Singapore. Okay, let's practice. What does it mean to give back? What does it mean to give back? To give back means
To give back
to
means
return.
to return.
When you go on holiday, what do you bring back with you? When you go on holiday, what do you bring back with you? When I go on
When I go
holiday,
on holiday,
I bring back
I
souvenirs
bring
with
back
me.
souvenir. Give me,
With me.
with me.
Very good. Are you going to go back home immediately after the lessons ended? Are you going to go back home immediately after the lessons ended? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm going
I
to going back
I'm
home
going back home
after the lesson ended.
after the lesson
Ended.
ended.
Very good. One more. Yes, I'm going
Yes,
to go
I'm
back
going
home immediately
to go back home
after
immediately
the lessons ended.
after the lesson ended.
Very good. When people lend you money, they always pay it back when promised. When people lend you money, do you always pay it back when promised? Yes or no?
Yes,
When
when
people lend
people
me money, I
lend me
always
money,
pay it
I
back
always pay back
when promised.
than promised.
Very good. Do you know anybody who has retired but then later gone back to work? Do you know anybody who has retired but then later gone back to work? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
know
know
somebody who has
somebody
retired
who has
but
retired
then later gone back
but
to work.
later gone back to work.
Very good. Next, repeat pride.
Brighted,
One more. Pride.
pride,
Proud.
proud,
Normal.
normal,
Normally.
normally,
Take pride in.
take pride in.
We're going to listen. The word pride is a noun. It is a feeling of pleasure or happiness that you get when you do something good or difficult. For example, she spoke with pride about her success in passing the examination. Proud is an adjective. To be proud means to feel very pleased and satisfied, like feeling proud. For example, I am proud of my work. Take pride in means to be proud of. For example, I am proud of my work. Or we can say I take pride in my work. Normal is an adjective. Normal means usual or common. For example, my usual breakfast is bread and coffee. Or my normal breakfast is bread and coffee. Normally is an adverb. Normally means usually. For example, people normally feel proud when they do well in exams. Let's practice. What is your normal breakfast? What is your normal breakfast? My normal
My
breakfast
normal
is.
breakfast is bread and coffee.
Do people normally feel proud when they do well in exams? Do people normally feel proud when they do well in exams? Yes.
Yes,
People normally
people
feel
normally
proud
feel pride
when they do well
when they do
in
well
exams.
in exams.
Do you take pride in your work? Do you take pride in your work? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
take
take
pride
pride in my work.
in my work. Very good. Next, repeat servant.
Servant.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word servant is a noun. It is the synonym of helper. A servant is a person who is working in another person's house, doing household chores. For example, if I were very rich, I would have servants in my house. Okay, let's practice. If you were very rich, would you have servants in your house? If you were very rich, would you have servants in your house? Yes or no?
Yes,
If
if I
I
were
were
very
very rich,
rich,
I would have
I would have
servants
servant
in my house.
in my house.
Very good. Next, repeat wheel.
Wheel,
Lorry.
lorry.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word wheel is a noun. It is a round object connected to the center of a bar that is used for making vehicles or parts of machines move along the ground. Wheel. For example, the car wheels. There are four wheels in a car. Lorry is a noun. A lorry is the synonym of truck. It is a large vehicle that is used to transport goods on the road. For example, there are eight or more wheels on a lorry. A lorry has more wheels than a car. Let's practice. Does a lorry have fewer wheels than a car? Does a lorry have fewer wheels than a car? No. A lorry
No,
doesn't have
a lorry
fewer
doesn't have
wheels
fewer
than a
wheels
car.
than a
It
car.
has more wheels.
It has more wheels.
Very good. Next, repeat arrow,
Arrow,
centimeter,
centimeter,
meter.
meter.
Very good. Okay, listen. Both the word centimeter and meter are nouns. 100 centimeters make a meter. Arrow is a noun. An arrow is about a meter long. Okay, let's practice. About how long is an arrow? About how long is an arrow? An arrow is about
An arrow is
a
about
meter long.
a meter long.
How many centimeters make a meter? How many centimeters make a meter? 100 centimeters
100 centimeter
make a
make a
meter.
meter.
Very good. Next, last one. Repeat. Beard.
beard,
Very good. Okay, listen. A beard is a noun. It is the hair that grows around a man's chin. For example, Santa Claus has a white beard. Okay, let's practice. Do you know anybody who has long beard? Do you know anybody who has long beard? Yes or no?
yes,
I know
I know
somebody
somebody
who has
who
long
has
beard.
long beard.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay,
Okay, so our reading is at stage 4, paragraph page 275, Switzerland. Okay, start with the
sweet.
first question on page 276. Is this a little room we're in?
Okay, okay. Is this a little room we are in? Yes, this is the little room we are in. Purse, wallet, usually. What's the difference between a purse and a wallet?